you live years of your life not living the way that you actually authentically are, but living the way you think you're supposed to, that is acceptable by society. But then we just go out into nature and we say, screw society! I'm gonna feel all my feelings. And it feels good. Hello everyone, welcome to another installment of Thank You Universe. Today is going to be a great day. I know this video is going to be good because this bee right now wanted to record it. There was this bee flying around my camera. It's like obsessed with it right now. And I'm just like, alright bee, if you want to record me, cool, just can I press the buttons on my camera please? And then we'll get it going. So, it was an emotional experience, but we're going to deal with those emotions. And that's what our topic today is, dealing with our emotions. Dealing with our f***ing emotions! There's so many! Right, so, emotions can be a lot. Specifically, today I'm going to talk about dealing with the more difficult emotions, because people can deal with happiness pretty easily, you know? It's just like, yeah, I feel good right now. This isn't too hard. It's awesome. So, I want to talk to you all about specifically dealing with the emotions that we don't necessarily want to deal with because it's hard and it hurts. This is what a lot of people in the spiritual world, the self-help world, refer to as shadow work. Shadow work. So, why do they call it shadow work? Because people don't look at their shadow. They take it for granted. They don't want to think about it. You know, it's your shadow side, your dark side, the things that you don't want to get into. So, I'm going to just jump straight to this technique for dealing with those emotions. The ones that we don't want to deal with. So, a lot of times people will hide from their emotions. They will distract. They will use different emotions to cover those emotions because they don't want to feel their actual emotions. So, first I'm going to say how we do it, then I'm going to say why we don't feel those emotions. So, the technique is this. When you are feeling an emotion, first you have to recognize it. You have to say, I'm feeling this way. You have to identify the cause of your emotions. And this can be really difficult, especially if we are used to running from our emotions. So, let's say something happened and you've successfully identified your emotion. I'm afraid because there's a bee on my camera and I think it's going to attack me and I've been stung by bees 3 times! And I'm just like, why bees? Why? It hurts. But, so I've identified the emotion and let's say it's fear. So you recognize, alright, I'm afraid. I'm not going to distract myself or hide from this emotion. I'm going to let myself fully feel it. Let this fear wash over me. Sorry, Bush. Let this fear completely overtake me. I'm going to feel this whole torrent of this emotion right now. And it can be a scary thing to allow yourself to feel those feelings, especially the ones you're afraid of. Whether that be sadness, anger, depression, fear, isolation, loneliness, joy. Some people actually are afraid to feel joy and happiness too. So there is something for everyone, you know? Everyone is avoiding something or distracting themselves from something. We do live in a very distracting culture, and people don't want to think about what they don't want to think about. That's why it's one of the hardest things to do. The things that you don't want to think about, you just don't want to think about them. So you allow yourself to feel this feeling. You say, I'm going to fully commit and embrace this experience and let myself feel this emotion. And I'm not going to distract myself. So, you commit to feeling it and you just sit there. It's kind of like doing a meditation. In meditation, you focus on your breath. You just go somewhere where you can sit or just be comfortable and not have distractions. And you focus on your breath. But in this meditation, you're focusing on your feelings, and specifically the one feeling that you're feeling that you need to let yourself feel. And you just sit there, you can close your eyes, just say, okay, it's time. I'm just gonna let this feeling take its course, and I'm going to feel it. And when you feel it, you explore it. You don't judge it. It's difficult because we have judgments for all of our emotions, and we think, oh, it's good if I feel this way, it's bad if I feel this way. You just observe without judgment. That is the key. Observing without judgment. When I learned that, when I even heard that phrase, observe without judgment, it immediately resonated with me, and it gave me so much potential for growth, because it's okay to feel your feelings. They're your feelings. You don't have to judge them. You are not your feelings. You feel your feelings, but you are not them. And you are not a bad person or a good person. You're just a person. For feeling the way that you feel, you're not bad. You're just feeling it. And it's okay to feel the way that you feel. I was just talking to my friend about this, and it's like that inspirational quote that people like to say, it's okay to not be okay. For example, if you're not feeling okay, if you're feeling depressed. So you don't judge your emotions, and you let yourself fully feel them. And the distractions will come. Trust me, they will come. They'll be like, you know what? I'm gonna think about this other thing. Oh, I have this school assignment that I'm stressed about. I don't have time to feel my feelings. Oh, I'm not allowed to feel these feelings because I don't like it because it's not feeling good. So for me, I'm just like, I left my tea in the kettle, gotta go get my tea, can't wait on that, don't have time to feel these feelings. But really though, like, this happens to me all the time when I'm doing this feeling meditation. I'll try and distract myself, and you have to catch yourself and be like, no, redirect, the feeling is happening right now. It's okay, let yourself feel it. So, you've identified the feeling, you're committed to feeling it, you're not judging it, you're just observing it. And then you can start to look at it and ask, okay, what is this feeling? What does it feel like? Why does it feel this way? Why do I feel afraid? How does this feeling feel inside of me? Is it in my body? Is it in my stomach? Is it in my heart? It's in all my chakras right now. I can feel it in all my chakras. And it feels like a lot. And then you observe it and you say, why does it feel this way? And you just let yourself feel it. And then the key and final ingredient to this situation is you don't do anything about it. So you feel a certain way, a lot of times we think we have to go do something, we have to distract ourselves, or we fix the problem. Or we try and use our ego to force ourselves not to feel the way that we feel, or cover it up with another emotion. I'm going to do another video on that, actually, on how people use different emotions to camouflage their other emotions. But for now, we're going to stick with the technique, and you don't try and do anything about it. You just sit there and let yourself feel it. And you're just gonna let yourself feel it. And a lot of times we want to shove these feelings down, we repress them, we disguise them, we turn them into something else. But the thing is, they're gonna come popping out somewhere. Like, whether or not you allow yourself to feel them naturally, the feelings are gonna come out in your life. So what I thought of was this Simpsons episode that I saw one time where Homer Simpson is like really stressed out about something work. I forget the episode. It was a while ago, but he keeps getting this bump that comes out on his neck, and he keeps pushing it back in to kind of like not deal with the feeling of the stress that he's experiencing. And that's totally how we all do it. Like, we don't deal with the feelings, we shove them down, but it comes out in other ways. So this maybe you were just like so stressed out at school, but you want to pretend to be this happy, put together person, this image in front of people, because real people don't have feelings, right? No one feels the way that I do. It's not okay to feel this way. So you shove it down and you repress it. And then it comes out in other ways, like maybe you drop a book and you're like, I dropped a book. Why am I such an idiot? Or maybe you snap at somebody you love, and it doesn't feel good because you didn't do your emotional homework, and then you just hurt someone's feelings because you didn't deal with your own feelings. That's not healthy. Nobody wants to be there, although we have all been there, but we're going to grow from it and move on, armed with these new techniques. And we're going to be more healthy and integrated people, and integrate these emotions through this technique of fully feeling our emotions. And the great part about this technique is that once you allow yourself to feel the emotions, that's the secret. They're felt, and the energy has run its course, and it can move on. So, with like severe emotions, depression, anxiety, traumatic stress, things like that, it will come in waves. So you're not going to deal with it all at once, but you use this technique until you come to a leveling out of your feelings, and then maybe the waves come again later, and then you allow yourself to feel your feelings. And you go on until you have fully felt it. And once you have fully felt all of these feelings, you integrate them into who that you are. You understand that you have these feelings, you recognize why you have felt them, and what they feel like to you, and then they don't come popping out in other ways, because you've done your emotional homework, and you don't let it affect your interactions with others. So we can't do this all the time, so sometimes we do have to hold this exercise for later. Good thing we're all experts at repressing our feelings and pretending we're not feeling the way we're feeling, right? Well, I mean, it is a useful skill, but in an ideal world, we'd all be like, hey, you're human, you feel this way. Some settings you might not see it as appropriate, like if you're at work. Like, you're at work, you're not allowed to be a human being or have feelings. But you are. So in an ideal world, everyone would recognize that, hey, I know we're at work, I'm gonna go take a 5-10 minute break. I got some shit popping out right now, I gotta deal with it. All these feelings. Like in Mean Girls, that girl who comes to the assembly, even though she doesn't even go here, I just have a lot of feelings. Alright? And you need to talk about them. You can talk about them to yourself. You can talk about them to a trusted friend, if that friend is okay with it, but don't talk at people and make them listen to your feelings without asking, because that's not okay, because then you're emotionally dumping on people, and you don't want to do that. Your feelings are your responsibility, and you need to take responsibility for them. So do your emotional homework. Don't try and make someone else do it for you, because it's not going to work. You're the one who feels the feelings inside your body, and you're the one who needs to feel them. And once you've integrated them, then you're just like, feels great. It's like after you had a really good stretch, like maybe you had some muscle tightness. I need to stretch. And then you stretch it out and you just like, feels so good. Feels so good to be in my integrated, emotionally stretched out, feeling human body. And yeah, that's a technique. So why do we not feel our feelings? I've already touched on those a little bit. In some situations in society, like if you're at work, if you're at school, you feel like it's not okay to feel those feelings in that setting. You have to be a professional, an emotionless worker. Yes, I will do my job without a single complaint or without feeling like a human, because that's what I get paid to do. Unfortunately, that's how it is for a lot of people, especially in the West. These emotions are very repressed, and we're not allowed to be human. So, a lot of people have fears towards expressing certain feelings. Maybe at one time or another, you felt like you had a feeling, and a lot of this happens in childhood. That's when we learn to be socialized. And maybe you were scared as a little child and you were crying, and then someone comes along and tells you, you're not allowed to feel like that. Stop crying. Don't be a crybaby. You're not allowed to cry. And that's a pretty common one. Like, people repress their sadness because they're not allowed to feel sad because someone told them it's not okay to feel sad. So we learn from a very, very young age that we cannot express our feelings of sadness, so we repress them and we cover them up. But then they affect us in our lives, and they come out in other ways. Maybe with anger. Anger was a big one for me growing up. I had a lot of anger as a child. It's just the way that I was. And I felt like I couldn't be angry in front of people because, people are afraid of anger, whether it's in themselves or others, and people don't want to be around angry people. Understandable. So I had a lot of anger that I had to repress and keep to myself. And I'd have to go hide in my room and scream into a pillow and feel like it's unacceptable for me to feel these feelings. And sadness, depression, jealousy, anger, loneliness, whatever it is, we feel like we're not allowed to feel that way. We're not supposed to feel that way. I cannot feel this way. I am not supposed to feel this way. I reject it, so I will not feel the feelings. I will repress them. And that's why you have to give yourself permission to feel your feelings and allow yourself and commit to feeling them, because we are all so very well versed and practiced in this art of repressing our feelings and shoving them down. But that's not the best way to be a healthy emotional person. That's going to lead to a lot of problems, and living your life a certain way. Maybe you become a pushover because you learn you're not allowed to stand up for yourself or be angry or express your feelings or your wants or your needs or desires. And so you live years of your life not living the way that you actually authentically are, but living the way you think you're supposed to, that is acceptable by society. But then we just go out into nature and we say, "Screw society!" I'm gonna feel all my feelings. And it feels good. It feels painful. It feels like a lot, but I'm gonna feel them. Pain, that's the other reason we don't feel about a lot of our feelings, because it hurts. It really hurts. Some of the feelings really, really hurt, but it's just like, if you have a bullet wound, are you gonna leave it in there to fester and infect you? No. You gotta take care of that shit or it will kill you. Same thing with your emotions, literally, just over a longer period of time. You've got to let those emotions go their course so they can be released and not become a part of you. We have energy fields that surround us, our energetic body. This is a teaching in ancient mysticism. And you have an emotional bullet in your body, an emotional wound that has been sitting there and festering and putting you off balance as an emotional person. And you don't want to feel it because it hurts. You'd rather just let it sit there because you think it'll go away. It's not going to go away until you feel it. That is the only way. Unfortunately, people try to hide from their pain because it hurts really bad, understandably. But the only way to actually let that pain go is to feel it. The thing that you are afraid of is the thing that you must confront. The thing you fear is the thing that you must confront. And you can set yourself free. You can take care of those emotions and let yourself feel the pain. I have been in situations with this exercise, and I've just been literally in the dark, in my room, in bed, feeling these feelings, writhing in agony, and all I can just be is like, it hurts. It fucking hurts, okay? It does hurt, really bad. But, you gotta pull the bullet out. You gotta yank that tooth, I mean, it's not so quick all the time. Like I said, these things can come in waves, and you integrate them as they come. But that's the only way to have a balanced emotional body and be a balanced emotional person with healthy emotions and feeling your authentic feelings. And as you learn to feel your feelings, you'll start to feel them as they come, and you will unlearn all the wiring to repress them, and you'll actually be more in touch with yourself. That is a great benefit to this exercise and doing shadow work. You're more in touch with who you are. People feel like they're not allowed to feel certain ways. You don't have to act on your feelings. If you feel super angry at someone and you want to punch them in the face, you don't have to punch them in the face. You can envision punching them in the face if that helps you, if that's how you're feeling the emotion at the time, and you objectively observe, what does this anger feel like? I feel angry at this person and like I would like to punch them in the face. Yes. And then those emotions go through you in the torrent of rage that they are, and then you integrate them, and then you don't actually end up cracking and maybe punching someone in the face in real life, or snapping at your lover, or saying something mean to someone, or living a passive-aggressive life, because you're not allowed to feel your feelings, so why should other people be able to feel their feelings? And then you end up telling other people they can't feel the way that they need to feel. Man, there's a lot of dogs barking. But the dogs bark when they're afraid and they're angry. So we can learn a lot from animals, because animals don't try and repress their feelings, they feel them. As you learn to do this exercise, you will become a more emotionally integrated person, and you will be more free to feel your feelings authentically and just go with the flow of who you are and go with the flow of life and be the person that you truly authentically are. And that's who we want to be, right? We want to be who we are, not who other people in society, outside forces, culture, our parents, our boss, the government, the president of the fucking United States. We're not trying to be the person that other people tell us to be. We're trying to be authentic, to be an integrated person. So that's how I feel about it, and I feel pretty good. So thank you all for tuning in. Go ahead and give us a like if you're feeling it. Go ahead and subscribe if you want more. I'll have more videos coming out on a weekly basis. Not sure how many, but there will be more. So much love to all my allies out there, and I hope you have a good emotionally integrated day and these exercises and thoughts can work for you. Thank you. Thanks for tuning in. I'll see you next time.